Yesterday, my sister was helping me to reflect on my blog posts and pointed something interesting out. She said that she associates me with playfulness and explained that through troubling times I have helped her the most because of my playful energy. She mentioned that my posts so far haven't really shown how I can channel that playful energy and have been more about handling being in the pit. I love to have my thinking challenged like this. She definitely has a point. So, can we connect play, mental health and houseplants? Well, it just so happens that my friend Dina is an expert on the topic of play. She has even done a TEDx talk. How cool is that? Anyway, Dina talks about how play is essential in our lives and should be a priority. She says that our adult lives are often missing some playfulness. A lot of diversity comes into our lives and gets in the way. She illustrates how we can and are playful by sharing an A to Z list of examples of how we do and can incorporate play into our lives. In her list, she chooses historical enactment for H and pamper days for P. I would choose houseplants for H and plants for P. I wonder if we could come up with a whole A to Z list of the ways that the houseplant hobby is play. A for arranging plants, B for buying plants, C for checking plants, D. I'm sure you can continue this. Have you ever considered that our hobbies might include a lot of play? Previously on here, I've written about how houseplants and mindfulness help my mental health. There are endless meditative and soothing practices that I do each day with my indoor garden. I know my fellow enthusiasts are the same, but I hadn't considered before how many of the things that I do with my plants are actually a form of play for me. When we were little, how many of us played dolls' houses? That process of finding the best bits and bobs to use as tiny parts of the house, rearranging the rooms, trying out different setups. I know as an adult, I just do a much larger version of this and thoroughly enjoy it. Just playing out with my plants, trying different arrangements in my rooms. I move my furniture around fairly regularly too. I know that we all feel a sense of joy when we notice something new happening with our plants. For me, a big part of that playful energy that I share with my sister is in comparing our plants. We regularly, at least once a week, give each other a plant tour around our respective homes. I love seeing what is going on with her indoor jungle, but also it is a joyous thing to be part of her excitement and awe over what her plants are up to. Have you ever asked yourself why you love to watch houseplant tours on YouTube? Notice I'm not asking if you do that. I wonder if one of the reasons that you enjoy this is as a form of play. In Amanda from Plantarina's YouTube video about what she looks for when buying plants that was new this week, she talks about how she is drawn to the plants that are doing their own thing. She especially loves those plants that are growing out of their pots in a wonky fashion. This struck me as very playful too. Seeing the world and our plants as unique and amusing beings and interacting with them on that level incites playfulness, I think. I have to say I am totally with Amanda in loving our eccentric plants. It reminds me of that expression that I love and that my husband uses often to me. You do you. Who else views their plants in this playful way? Dina talks about how play has been a constant companion for her in her life, but she hasn't always realised the role it was playing. I think I'm similar. I hadn't realised how I was using my houseplant hobby to bring playfulness into my life. I had very clearly thought I understood how it helps me in terms of mindfulness and mental health, but I had never considered the playful angle. How about you? Now that I've realised this, I'm going to be more aware of the playful side of my hobby. My friend on Instagram, Lipstick, Leaves and Lola, really channels her playful energy in the stories she shares. They're always making me smile. I'm not exactly sure how she does it. There is just something in the way she takes a light-hearted, observational approach to her hobby. She encourages me to do the same. Dina has been on a mission to enable adults to inject play into their lives. She has even created Safe Haven Foundation. She set this up to support families by reaching out to parents who are experiencing challenges associated with raising children, especially when one or more has any additional needs. The foundation of your life is built upon the safe haven of family. I think on the topic of mental health and play, when I changed my thinking to focus on playfulness and gain as much from a houseplant hobby as I do, as when I'm being mindful, present and non-attached. Perhaps they go hand in hand. I would love to hear your thoughts on the topic.